how is it? So how is it, right? Some things sometimes go swimmingly, other times they're a pain. Plumbing and heating, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. This has been a pig. This one. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all doing really well and you've had a good week. So, yes, you join me, Liam the Plumber, in today's video. And today we are replacing two towel radiators. Now, one is a like-for-like swap, which is tricky. It's not the easiest. The second one, a bit more involved, but still quite interesting. It's not a like-for-like swap. So that is today's video. Now, I just want to say, before I get into today's video, I just want to say thank you very much to all the new subscribers to the channel. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button. It's free to do so. Also, thank you very much for all the likes and the comments on the last video. And guys, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. So, I think we'll get into today's video. Let's go. Yeah, the first thing I've done, guys, before I've even introduced you to anything, is taking this off the wall. And we are replacing it because it has been leaking from where the sort of spigots go in. So all been leaking out of there. There's also another couple of spots on it up the top as well, where the air vent was just down there. So, close the door. And this is what we're working with. So we've got a plasterboard wall right here. We're going to be fitting this towel rad in its location. It is currently upside down. That is not the top. That down there is the top. So we're going to fit the rad up here. Pipe work, we're going to have to come off of here with 2 elbows, drag it across and then into the valves on the new rad. Luckily we've got a little bit of movement on these. But before we do any of that, we're going to get this drained. And the way I'm going to do it is, because we've got a sealed system, I'm going to use a washing machine hose onto either one of these two, into a bucket, quickly, then take off one of the valves, put my hose on, drain it outside, and then that will drain the system. This is either going to go really, really well or really badly, but we're going to put these on here, and this is all just in the aid of just draining out the pressure. So put that on there. Let's see what we get. Yeah, there we go. Let that drain into there. So guys, wash machine hose is on there. And we're currently just taking out the pressure into this bucket, and then we'll get the hose on there. So these are actually on plastic. I've just undone that nut. So yeah, there's not much water in here at the minute, but I need to get the hose on because I need to drain the rest of the house down. So there'll be a bit more pressure come out of that in a minute, but if I get that onto there, like so, we'll then go around the house, bleed the rads, and then that will empty out all the system. All I've done with this is just put that through the cat flap, and then it goes outside into the drain. So let's go and open up some radiators. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this before. The old liquid PTFE or rapid blue, however you want to say it. Sorry about my voice, by the way, it's a little bit croaky, just getting over a cold or man flu. So I always leave the valve on, attached to the tail, enough of that on the first few threads, and then wind that in to the top of the rad. You don't need to go doing it up with grips or anything, or adjustables. Just wind that in hand tight, and then what I'll do is, while I'm marking out my brackets, that stuff's already set in, and then I can, by the time I come to put that up, they'll be solid. Now, the other thing to note with the Rapid Blue is I'll only ever use this stuff on chrome valves. I'll never ever use it on white radiators, basically, because if it goes on the white rad, it stains the finish. So I'm going to say, keep the valve body on the spigot, goes the rapid blue, and then in to the top of the rad. And the reason why I keep the rad valve on the spigot is because you don't want the rapid blue going on. Let me show you guys. You don't want the rapid blue going onto this nut, otherwise it sets that nut and that then becomes solid. So I'll get the excess wiped off and then we'll get the brackets marked up onto our wall. Rad is now on, it's level. Be careful when I do this. There you go, so rad's level. Pipework is now level down there, so it's in line with those existing pipes. Just going to run some copper into them. And we've got these to put on, these little retaining screws. I've already done the bottom two, but I've just got these top two to do up here. So I'll get them two on now, then I'll bring you back when I'm doing the pipe work. I've got to start it off, just figure out how I'm going to do it. Then I'll bring you back once I've kind of sussed out exactly how I'm going to do it. So yeah guys, I think that's the way I'm going to do it. I think is another kick to replicate that into there. Cut it down, valve at an angle, level. There is plastic in the wall, but I'm confident I'm nowhere near the plastic. Cool it down pretty much straight away. That's kind of the best I can kind of do with it really. It's tricky, because otherwise normally you'd have the pipes come out exactly in line, but on this one they come out in the middle. So yeah, I'll just kick another one to go in there. So yeah, then we're on to the upstairs rad, guys. This one has seen better days when you look at that, yeah. We're going to be reusing the old valves, and the new one is a like-for-like swap, and the new rad is just here right next to me. So like-for-like swap, I'm going to replace all the brackets and reuse the old valves. So you can see here, I'm literally undoing the valves, and I soon quickly realised there's no slack or movement on the pipes in the wall. I mean, I was hoping they were going to like push in a little bit so I could push the pipe into the wall and the valve would drop down. That was my theory. That wasn't the case. Everything was rigid, it was solid, there was no movement on anything at all. But yeah, we're going to reuse the old valves, but we're going to replace the tails going into the new rad. So we're going to put two new tails in, but keep the valves, just because the corner valve, sorry, you know, they look better than the angled ones. So yeah, new rad, and you can see right here I'm looking at the fixings. Now I always change the plugs. I always use the Fisher Duo Powers. They're the best plugs in my opinion. I'm going to use the new brackets. So we're going to be fitting everything new apart from the valves basically. And with these brackets we're going to be installing washers with the screws, because the previous person never put screws with the washers. And then these are the plugs to the Fisher Duo Powers. These are 8mm. Literally you can leave these in flush with a finished surface and they will not crack a tile or crack your finished surface basically. So yeah, fit these in, 8mm plugs. This rad is not going to go anywhere. So yeah, I really rate these plugs, they're so good. And then we're going to be putting our tails into the rad. Now you can see I'm using the rapid blue again. I wipe off the excess, and you can see I'm using adjustable on this because they're actually quite tight, bizarrely, on this rad. So I'm doing this now before I pipe it up. Check it's level on the brackets, and then we move on to, yeah, fitting the valves. So there we are, guys. The tail rad is on. But what's made this really tricky is these valves. So I've reused the original valves because there's nothing wrong with them. However, the way the brackets all work, I've had to put it back on how it came off. So I've had to put the valves onto the rad, slide the radiator onto all 4 brackets and onto the pipework, which isn't perfectly plumb. So you know, it's like you're trying to fiddle about with the pipework, trying to get that in, and the top's pulling out, and what have you. But I've just got to put some chrome covers on them, and that's us done. But we do have heat in there now, so heating's back on, all filled up, all under pressure. But yeah, this one has been tricky. If it was 2 valves at the end, probably not as bad, but because they're these corner ones, they've got to go onto the rad, onto the tails first, to then slide onto them pipes. You try and do that and try and marry it up to 4 brackets. It's been a right pain. It's been a right pain, this one. So there you go, guys. There you have it. Yeah, the first towel rad, the install, the chrome one, was quite a nice one, all to the pipework, as you would have seen. I tried the best I could with it. There's only so much I can do. And obviously with it being plastic in the wall, be really, really careful as to how much heat goes onto the 2 elbows. So that one is all done. The one upstairs, the black rad, yeah, I fitted it onto the brackets to start with, and then realised I couldn't get the valves on, because there's no movement in anything. So I then had to take the rad off, fit the valves, and then push it all on. And of course, a couple of times the brackets weren't then in line because the pipes were out. It was one of those. I love fitting radiators. It's probably one of my most favourite jobs to do. But that one just proved to be like really, really difficult. But we got there in the end. It's all done, all dusted. So guys, thank you very much for watching today's video. If you've enjoyed today's video, as I said before, please give it a thumbs up. It means a lot. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. It's free. So guys, have another good week, and I'll see you next Sunday.